Right, so basically, today we'll have come up with some basic projects. All right, we may not actually be able to solve all of it given the time, but if we could, that would be perfect. But wherever we stopped, you guys can continue from there. So I've come up with some basic questions. Yeah. So we're gonna see how we can implement each of these exercises. All right, using the basic concept that we've learned. Now, mind you, this project or these little exercises, right, will not permit us to go outside the scope of things that we've learned. So basically, these projects will definitely evolve around conditionals, loops, variables, input, and print function. All right. So we'll use those things and then we see how we can solve these things. Is that okay? Okay. So I believe that is okay by everyone. I believe that is okay by everyone. All right. So we'll start. Okay. We'll start and then we'll see how it goes. Right. So we have the first exercise. There should be a grading system. So and the next one there should be a basic unit converter. You have the guessing number game, simple calculator, basic quiz, simple banking system, application table generator, and password generator. Wherever we stopped, you guys can continue. All right, so each of these actually have a description. So for exercise one, okay, so exercise one, which is the grading system. So it says that we should do what? That we should write a program that should get student scores and display the appropriate grade for that score. Okay, so if you don't understand what I believe, let me explain it properly. So basically, the way this program will work, okay, is that the students will be given the chance or the space to do what to input their scores. And in the normal school system, I don't think someone's score can go above 100. So I think the appropriate score should come from 0 all the way to 100. And I think and then each score has a specific grade, right? So and some places have that from 70 to 100 is a grade of A, right? And then from 60 to 69 is B, 50 to 59 is C, and I think 45 to 49 is D, and then anything below 45 is F. All right, so we'll be using that standard of grading, all right, and then we see how we can implement this. So quickly, I will open up my VS Code, and I believe that all of us here have opened up our VS Code because I want us to actually write the code alongside me writing this code, right? So it just stays, right? So it's one thing to actually see what I'm doing, and another thing for you to actually do it along. Because the thing is that I'm actually type something and then you actually type the same thing, but just giving you an error, right? So we can do what we can actually help you debug it here, all right? So I'll open up my VS Code, and assuming you two should open up yours. Okay, so quickly. So of course, our folder still exists in here. So remember, I said that this folder would be where all our files will come in. So our folder still stays. So I will copy it up. I will open up this folder in my VS Code using my command prompt. You can open up yours by right-clicking on the folder and open it in on VS Code. Now you may be wondering why didn't I just do that? Well, I think mine doesn't actually give me the permission to open via VS Code. So I think there was a problem during my VS Code installation. So I can open up mine from my command prompt. But if yours give you the room to open via your file explorer, please go ahead and open it via your file explorer. So I'll simply open up mine here by typing code dot, and that folder gets open in my VS Code. All right. So this was the where we stopped our last class. So I will just simply create another file, and I will call this file exercise one, ex1 dot spy. Sorry, spy. All right. So this one says that I just copy up the description and put it down here. So I'll copy this and for reference sake, so we don't have to we only be coming to a slide where we want to pick another exercise. So I'll put my comments symbol and I'll paste that in score and should display. Please confirm that you can hear me properly. I think my network kicked me out.
We can hear you now.
Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. Right. So I was saying that we're using in the standard that 70 to 100 should be A, and 60 to 69 should
Please,
be.
can you increase the font?
Okay, the font. Sorry about that. It's
yes. More.
All right. So I believe that's okay. Right. And then we also have that 50 to about 59. About 59 should be C. And about 45 to 49 should be D. Right. And every other thing that comes after that should be 0 to about 44 should be considered F. You failed. All right, and then anything outside this should be considered an invalid. So anything outside the range of 0 to 100 should be considered invalid score, right? Invalid score. All right, so of course, before we even delve into solving a task, right? We need to understand the concept of algorithm. All right. This I'll leave it to us to actually explore and understand what this means. All right, algorithm. So, but I'll give you a brief explanation of what algorithm is, right? And algorithm is basically a step-by-step process of solving a task, right? But then if you want to actually make it specific to programming, we would say a computational step, right? Computational steps in for solving the task. All right, so we need to understand this concept because this concept will really help us to do what to solve tasks. So we need to know what is coming first and what is coming last. Okay, so now from this question here, right now, from this question here, I can simply say that but my own algorithm for solving this would be, first of all, I'll get the scores, the students score. That would be my step one. And then my second step would now be to check the score for appropriate grade. After that, I'll go ahead and display the appropriate grade for the score. And that's right. Those three steps, and then I'll do what gets that program done. All right. Your step may be different from mine, right? That one thing about algorithm is that there's no specific steps to solving a problem, right? You may have one step you may have a specific step to solve that problem. Someone else may have another step to solve that same problem. So one thing about programming is that you don't really have to there's no specific steps to solving a specific task, right? So your program is your own should I say reflection or your own thought process. Exactly. Yes, your program is your thought process. All right. So how you think of how solving that problem, exactly how your program will behave. All right. So for me, those three steps will help me solve my this specific task. Okay. So following those steps, I'll just simply go into writing the code. So first of all, I'll get the score. And we know that to get score, we can use what the input function. So I can come here and say input function, right, to get score. But then if I execute this code as it is, there is no valid information. You can see that there's something there that requires us to type. And but yet there's no valid information for the user to do what to make use of this. So I have to come back again to my input function, and then within the function, I can put the valid information that I want to display or what I want to show the user so that they know what to do, what to type in there. So in this case, I would say enter your score, right? And then to actually make it very specific, I would say in numbers or in digits, right? Because someone user may decide to come in here and type their score in words and go and type, let's say 75. You want to go and type SEVENTY and then add the 5. And in that case, that we do not want that. So now if I run this code again, then this should do what show the appropriate message. So here you can see what enter your score in digits. Right. So that makes a lot of sense. So here I can type the 50 or whatever score I have in mind, or whatsoever score I had. So I can actually type it in there, either 50 or 100, all right, or even 1,000. All right, and then that ends the program as of now. But then we still have one more problem. We can't access that value. All right, so that value is just there. The 100 or the 1,000 that I just typed in there is just lost in space. I can't access it. So to actually access it, I would want to do what? Assign this input operation to what? A variable. And in this case, I'll call my variable what? I'll call it score. So score should be equals to that. So in this case, once I type in a specific score, I can actually access that value via what this variable called score. To show you a simple example, I could just come here and just say, let me print whatever the value of score should be. Score. Okay, so I think the first score was wrong. So this should be the correct score. All right, so now if I run this again, and then I type in, let's say, 1,000. I can now access that value here, right? And that is what is actually showing there. So I've done what? I've gotten my step one to get the student score. Now I have to check for the appropriate grade. So that's where my conditioner will start coming in. All right, my conditioner will start coming in there, which is a question. Mr. Gaius, your mic is on. Okay. All right. So I think that should be a mistake. There is no question. All right. So, but please, I said, and like I said earlier, any concept that looks strange, please drop it back, and then we do what we'll re-explain it again. All right. So I'll bring in my conditionals, and we know that conditionals is being established or is being constructed using three keywords: if, elif, and what and else. All right. So as we all know what if does, if actually checks for what is true. The elif is used when we have multiple conditions to check, and then the else is actually there to do what to execute when none of the condition what is true. So else is for for those that are false. So I'll construct my if condition, and here I want to construct first that if score should be equals to what 100. But then this will make my score. Why am I spelling score wrongly throughout today? So this should be score, please. Okay, so first of all, if I say if score is 100, that will make this grade to be too specific. So it means that in order to have whatever grade I want to assign to this condition, you must score 100, which from what we have there is not so. So for you to score A, your score must fall within 70 and 100, both of them inclusive. Right? The 70 and the 100 is inclusive. So to construct that, this should be something like this. Score is greater than or equals to what? To 70. And score is less than or equals to 100. So if your score will actually meet any of those criteria, right? I want to go ahead and do what? And display the appropriate grade, being your score is A. Sorry, instead of having typo error up and down. So that should be Y, not T. So your score is what is A. And I could also do the same thing for B, right? So if you remember during our conditional class, I said that in a situation where you have to check for multiple conditions, but then you want only one action to be executed, then you do not wish to repeat your if. Because if you repeat your if I do this, if I copy my if and then I come down here and paste another if again and say if score, right, is greater than or equals to 60 and less than or equals to 69, right? Then your score should be what? Should be B. And the thing here is that if this condition actually meets, then that will actually execute. That will actually execute. So let me give you a quick example. So if I execute this round, right, and then I put in, let's say 60, see what happens. Let's say I put in 60 here. Okay. Oh, one more bug, right? These things is part of the process. As when you write code, you're likely going to see a lot of bugs, right? So let me show you mine. Okay, so mine actually says that that this operator here is not supported between the instance of string and int. So what is happening here is this, right? What is happening here is this. We are trying to compare this with this, and it's telling us that this operator here does not work with string and an integer. Now, how we score a string? Remember, in my previous class, sorry, in our conditional class, we said that any value that comes from the input function is automatically considered a string. So the 100 we type, the 60 we type was considered as this, a quotation of 60. That's what is actually being, that's how your score is actually being seen. So how do we solve this? We can do what? We can typecast, right? We can typecast using any of the built-in function that I showed us. That we have the int, we have the float, we have the str. So in this case, I could simply come down here and say, let me create a new variable called score, where it will be equal to the integer of score. And that will solve our problem. That's one approach. Or I could simply just wrap it here at once without actually doing what's going down the line. So I'm simply come here and say int, and then I paste in my input there. And that will get the value and as well typecast it. Do we understand? Do you understand that concept?
Yes, sir.
All right. So either way will work for us. We can either put the int here and wrap it and with the input, or we can actually come down here and do this as well. Whichever one we want to choose would work. But I'll leave those two options there. But you can choose any of those ones and use in your code. But I will leave mine there, and that will solve my problem. So if I run this again, and then I put in my 60 again, now you see what happens. Now it says that I have B. It said that I have B. Now let's reduce this again. Let's reduce this one more time. Let's assume that this should be let's say 70. Assuming this was supposed to be what 70. Now so what happens if I execute this now and then I did 60 again? sorry, this should be, let me use 70, sorry, since I have 70 there. And then I did 70 here. Now the thing here is that it shows A. But the thing is that after this has been displayed, okay, so we're having, okay, this should be 100 again, sorry. Or this should be, let's say, they put this at 80 for now. So we can say that these are like two different conditions. So here, the first one is for like 70 and 100, and the second one is for 70 and 80, right? Now, if I execute this again, and then I type in 70, I'm trying to show us a concept, right? And then you see that we have the both action executing. And at times, we do not want our condition to actually do this. We want a situation where we can have multiple conditions, but you expect only one action to be executed in all those conditions, right? So that's why I'm saying that we can't repeat if, because if we repeat if, we are more like the illustration I did in class. We are more like telling Mr. Gayos to actually go to a specific store, get something, come back, and then tell him to go back again and check again for another thing and go back and come back. When we could have just given him all the conditions for him to go to the store once and then execute whichever action met all those conditions and then come back, right? Without going back again, right? So when we do this, right, Python does what is basically evaluating this condition twice. So it will evaluate for this, execute this action, and then evaluate for this again and execute that action. So in a situation like this, we want only one action to actually be repeated. Whichever condition is met first, execute that one and leave the rest, right? Except you want to actually do this, but which I don't think by doing this, you've actually just violated the whole concept of conditionals, right? But this will not that this will break your code. This won't break your code, but the whole concept there is gone, right? So that's where the elif actually comes in. So if I put my elif here, you will see that if I go back again and type 70, only one action will be executed, and that action will be the very first condition that meets the criteria. So if I do this again and then put my 70 here, you see that only one action is what is executed. So that was the concept I wanted to actually illustrate to us. So I'll come back and then I will fix up our code again. So 70 to 100 for A, and then 69, so sorry, 60 to 69 for B. And then just copy the elif again since we have further conditions. And then we paste it there. And then this one should be 50 to 59 for C. And I'll paste this again. Please notice my indentations, right? I'm not pasting it right under the print, because if I paste it right under the print action, that becomes nesting, conditional nesting, of course, which we'll talk about it as we move forward. So this should be what my this should be 45 to 45 to it should be 45 to 49, right? This should be 49 for D, and then every other thing that comes after that should be considered F. So 0 to 44, okay, that should be what's considered F. With that, I think we are good to go. So if you execute this, this should give us our appropriate score. So if I come here and I say 100, well, that's an A. If I run that again, and I come here and I say 50, that's a C. And if I come here and I say 43, that's an F. If I come here and I say something like, let's say 1,000 or 10,000, nothing actually happens. So we say that we are almost done, but not yet done, right? So we've been able to do what? To display the appropriate score for the appropriate grade for the score, but then we've missed this man, the invalid score. That's when you put something that's outside what is expected what is an expected score, then we should have an invalid score. So that's where my error was coming. So it means that if your score doesn't fall among any of these conditions, it means that you've typed in something that we do not understand. And as such, we can now tell you that that you have typed in an invalid, right? And then run this again, and type in, let's say, minus 100. Of course, that is an invalid score. Your score cannot go below 100. Sorry, below 0. No matter how bad it was, the least it can go is 0. If it gets to minus 100, it simply means that you're owing the department score. Question. Question. Any question?
Yes, mine is not a
Yes, sir.
question, it's a complaint.
Okay.
Yeah, my VS Code is not displaying beautifully like yours with different colors. Mine is plain white and I don't know why.
Okay, if yours is
But
plain white, then I'm okay. If yours is
yeah,
plain white,
yes.
okay, if yours is plain white, then I want you to go to that box where you see my cursor now, the extension box, and then
Okay.
you want to search for Python. So Python will help you it will actually come alongside with this. So you can install both of these extension here, or the three of them, Pylons, Python, and Python debugger. So this actually
Okay.
helps you formatting.
Hold on. What is showing me is disable and install and uninstall, which shows like
Yes,
I
click
click
on it.
I should click what? Uninstall.
Click. So it show you disable or okay,
Uninstall.
you have this both button there. All right. Do you
Yeah,
have Python installed as well?
yes.
Then
Python
that's
language supports Microsoft Python, debugger, all of them as I'm opening. Which other one? Let me see the third one.
all right.
Pylons.
So all right.
That one, the same thing said disable on uninstall.
All right. So it means that those extensions are there.
Yes.
So what you want to do is go do Control Shift P and then search for interpreter, Python interpreter, and then
Shift B.
Control Shift P,
No
Python interpreter.
build. Okay, Python interpreter.
Yes.
Python interpreter.
Did that work? Did you see? Have you seen something like this? We have global and recommended.
No, nothing as shown.
Nothing has shown.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
typed
that.
Python interpreter.
And then click on it. Have you clicked on it?
That's like highlight it. Is that what you mean by click on it?
No. Click on it when you actually do Control Shift P and search for Python interpreter. Click on it, like click it. This should show something like this.
Didn't I spell the Python well? Wait, let me see. Python, Python interpreter. I am even done spelling it, but nothing came up.
But so, okay, this is what this what I want you to do. Drop a screenshot for us on the chat session, so we can understand ourselves properly. If you could take a screenshot of your VS Code, put it on the chat session. Let's see.
Okay. But I
Right.
won't want to stop this class so because I'm really enjoying it so that we can move forward. But I'll just
right.
continue highlights.
Okay.
Snap
Yeah, just drop it.
yeah.
We'll still continue. Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll see how we can rectify that. All right, so that's for exercise 1. You see, it's that simple. Programming is quite interesting, right? So, like I
Hi,
said, the
sir.
key concept of solving problem is this man. Okay, question.
Yes, sir. I know you talked about this last week, but my system was off while you were talking about it. I can't run my program. I can't run what we are doing now. Can you please more like a recap on how to run if run is not showing on your display button the way it is showing on yours? How will I
Okay, this
bring it to show
okay.
there?
Right, so what you could do is but that should show. I don't know why is people having that problem. Right, so if you try this and it doesn't still work, then I want you to like go to your program and go to your program, search for remove program. Remove, just search for remove program. You see something like that, add or remove program. Go there and uninstall your VS Code. If this particular step I want to show you doesn't work. Right, so what you want to do is you want to search for view. And then in your view, you will see terminal. Or you could just simply do control plus backtick. Backtick is your key under your escape key. That's backtick. So, or you just go to view and then go to terminal. Then they should open up your terminal, something like this. And then what you want to do, because this terminal by default will open in PowerShell, and you don't want to use PowerShell. So you want to click on that drop button there, on that plus that has a job menu there. And then you want to click on command prompt. So you click on command prompt, that should
Sir,
change from
small. You said I should
okay.
go to terminal, and then from terminal I should go to where?
Okay. Let's say that again. All right, so go to your view.
Mm-hmm.
View should be somewhere after your file edit selection, then you have view. So mine is not showing because
Mm-hmm.
I've increased my font. But if I reduce my font a little bit, you have your view there. See view there, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now click on that view. Then you see
Mm-hmm.
terminal. Visit terminal down here. Second
Yeah,
to
I
the
can see.
last option. All right. Then click on that terminal, and
Mm-hmm.
then this will open. So by default, this will
Okay.
open in PowerShell. So
Okay.
so what you want to do is you want to change it from PowerShell to command prompt. So you want to go and click on that drop down. You can see a drop down, or should I say an addition key?
Okay. Command prompts.
Yes,
Okay.
click command prompt, and that will switch to command prompt. And then what you want to do now, okay, is to type Python followed by the file name. In this case, the file name here for me is that the file you want to execute. For me, this one is exe1.py. So ex1.py, right? And then you want to
Okay.
click enter, and that will execute your Python file. Like so,
Okay,
like
sir.
mine are actually executed now. So if I type in 60, that should work. My score is B. Did that work for you?
I said Python was not fine. Run without arguments to install from the Microsoft Store or disable this shortcut from setting. I don't know if I'm
Okay.
doing it wrongly.
She said that Python was not found.
Yeah.
All right. Please confirm that when you go to your CM, your command prompt, that Python is active. Type Python and be sure that Python is active on your device. That you can have this. Go to your CMD, then type this. Or you can even type it
Okay.
from there. Just type Python. Just type Python from where you are.
I'm lost. I'm sorry, sir.
Okay, so you are here, right? You are in your VS Code. Just type Python in your VS Code. Then
Okay.
this should display. But if this doesn't actually display, it means that Python should I say has left your PC.
Uh, okay,
Did
sir.
that work?
No, sir.
It didn't work. Did it take you
Yeah.
to Microsoft Store?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Did you see where it says install Python
Let me go back again.
in Microsoft Store?
I'll have
Okay.
to.
There should be a button that
Okay.
says install Python, Microsoft Store.
Okay.
All right,
Oh,
Miss
wait, sir.
Miss.
Just continue. I'm going to get my way around it.
Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
But just let me know the update from just let me know the update in the chat session.
Okay, sir. Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
All right. So Miss what was the question? Miss
Marian.
Miriam. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think your line one needs comment. Please comment on your line one. I said the
Okay, what?
program should get students. I think that was more like a description for the program so we could actually know what is going on. So comment on your line one, please. Just
what do I need to do there? Okay, to add the pound
sign.
The pound sign.
Yes, the pound sign there, yes. Yes, add there, and let's see if that works. And let me know if after adding that, if that actually works. All right. Okay, so while waiting for those updates for Miss Miriam and please, I don't know, ask the other question. While waiting for that update, let us see the next task. All right. So going back to our next task. Okay. The next one says that we should do that we should build a simple unit converter. Right. So unit converter. Let's see the description for that. They say create a program that converts units. Example, kilometers to miles, Celsius to Fahrenheit, based on user input. So let's see how we can create this particular, how you can solve this particular one. Okay, go to VS Code, and I'll leave this file here, okay, because I'm likely share it with us. So I'll create another file, and I'll call this particular one ex2.py, ex2.py, and I'll paste this here for reference sake. That one seems to be longer. Okay. I'll comment on that. So that is our description for this particular project. That we should create a, this looks bigger than my screen. Let's put this into 2 lines. Now we should create a program that converts units, such as kilometers to miles, Celsius to Fahrenheit. All right, so let's see how we can actually do that. So I'll bring in my algorithm again. So the first thing is I believe that there are different kinds of conversion, right? So I believe that that Fahrenheit to Celsius to Fahrenheit is temperature kind of conversion, right? Okay, let's just let's hit Google. Okay, units conversion, right? So let's see. I have a specific file somewhere that will help us in this ministry. All right, so we have kinds of conversions, right? I believe you guys can actually see my screen here. So we have volume kind of conversion, we have temperature, we have mass that's been with, we have area, we have length kind of conversion. So these are the formulas for this, right? So 1 inch is the same thing as 2.540 centimeters. Right, so we're gonna be the very simple one, not the one that will convert all these things, because of course you guys actually build a program that converts all these things, all of them here. That does the conversion. But we will pick 2 from length, we'll pick 2 from area, we'll pick 2 as well from mass, and I think that should be enough. Okay, or maybe we can go for length, go for mass, and then go for temperature. I think that was the one we'll go for. Volume, length, area, and temperature. So we just pick 2, 2, 2 and see how that works. So you can see that we have like different sections. Okay, so the first thing is that I want to actually show these sections. That's me trying to do what to bring up my algorithm or my computational steps to solve this task. So I want to show you my I want to show you first of all my algorithm. Algorithm. All right, and my step 1 here would be so steps. I'll comment on all of them. My step 1 here is to do what, to display small letters, display sections for conversion. Okay, so my main section simply means that the volumes that trying to tell the user that we have volume, we have I think mass, yes, mass. We also have temperature. Right. After that, I will display the appropriate display the appropriate available, because our system has to have some that are not available. So we show the one that is available for each, display appropriate available conversions for each section. For each section. Then after that, get the values or the value to be converted. So the value that I want and needs to be converted, then actually do what? Carry out the conversion. Carry out the conversion and then display the message. So you see that this particular algorithm is quite for me it's about 5 steps, right? And then the other program was about just 3 steps. That's basically how algorithm works, right? The more complicated the task, you're very likely to have a lot of algorithms. So in a work setting, before you even dive into code, they what we call algorithm and they have a flowchart. So there should be a flowchart of how the system should work before you even dive into writing your code in a normal work setting, right? So this is just emphasizing this is like at the surface level of algorithm, right? There's more to it, but at this level, if you can actually grasp the surface, like a basic step like this, right? If you could be doing this before each of your program, it will help you a lot. So algorithm is actually written in plain English, not like it's a code. It's a plain English. So you simply just write in plain English and
Your screen is gone, sir.
yeah. Okay. All right. So we are back. All right. So all right. So this is so I was saying that if you could actually practice this, the act of writing some few steps out of how you intend to solve a task, it will help you a long way. And note that the more complicated the task, the very likely that your algorithm steps will be much. Okay. So after that, you can actually just show it. Okay, so I'll comment this out and then we'll use that for reference. And then we'll use that for reference. So first of all, I want to do what show the section for conversion. This conversion. Today I'm typo error. I have no idea. All right, so I'll simply just display. So this means then what displaying what the section for conversion. So this basically just prints, right? So that's step just printing all through. So I'll just print something and then I will say, welcome to this one just for formality. Welcome to KodeCamp 4.0 units conversion system. Okay, and then I want to print and a space. So to print a space, you simply just put the print and then put nothing, and that will give you a like an empty line there. The way when I execute the code, you will see that empty line. So then I want to show again that I want you to see some sections, and then I will call this section. I will say choose from the sections below, and then I'll just simply print another one out, and I'll tell you that, of course, for those of us that have used USSD, we are used to this one. So one would be for length, and the other one would be for mass and then temperature. Length, mass, and temperature. So we have for length, and then we have copy and duplicate this. We have for mass, duplicate this, and then we have for temperature. So this should be 2, and this should be 3. And after that, I want to actually just show an empty space again, and then we'll copy the input function again. So I'll bring this one here, copy this, and bring it down here, and I'll call this one option. So whatever option you choose, I want to get it there, and then I'll say enter your option. Okay, And that's where you get to do what to choose if you want to actually get a length kind of conversion or a mass kind of conversion or a temperature conversion, right? So I think that's for step 1.
Please, I want to ask you on
okay.
line 14. Is it choose from or choose for the section?
Oh, choose from. So I said, like I said, today and typo error. I'm sincerely that should be from. Choose from the section below, right? So remember that this is actually, like I said, when we treated the print function, I said that whatever you type, they will just show there. So that won't have actually break your code, but then that will actually convey a wrong English to your user, right? So at times you need to come back and do checks on what you actually typed out, on what you're actually displaying for the users. Right, so that's for section 1. For my first line, right, and for my first line, display the appropriate conversion, right, and then I think this should also come in, and that says get the option selected by users. That is my, so here now becomes my step 1 and step 2. So I will execute this and then we'll see that. So you can see that this happens. Welcome to KodeCamp 4.0. And you can see the blank line that I said. An empty print will just give it a blank line there. And then I said choose from a section below. We have the length, we have the mass, we have the temperature. We have length, we have mass, we have temperature. Okay. So at this point, this way you can actually carry out your typing 1 or 2 or 3. Right. So let's actually move to the next one. Let's move to the next one. Let's move up a little bit. And we should delete this, delete that, delete this. All right, so the next step is to display the appropriate conversion available for each section. So this is where nesting comes in, all right? And of course, we still learn what nesting is still in this same class, all right? So I know that this class was supposed to be live coding, and then we still learn more concepts if there is more concepts pertaining to what we've learned previously. So we have nesting for both conditionals and loop, and we're about to actually see nesting for we're about to see nesting as we move forward, and I'll do well to explain what. So for now, I will simply carry out my conditional, right? So I will now check if option, right? If option is equals to 1. Remember, I can use 1 instead of 1 because I've done the conversion there, right? So you can still come down and do the conversion explicitly, or you can just wrap it up with your input and it still work, right? So if option is 1, I want to show the appropriate ones. Okay, so I'll simply just copy this here and edit it. Right, so this is part of your life as a programmer. You are very likely going to be copying code, paste it somewhere, and edit it, and it saves you time. So I will edit this and I will say below is for option 1 being length. I will say below is the available conversions for length. And so we pick 2. We pick just 2 options. So we go back and then let's pick from. So we pick inch to centimeters, millimeters to inches. Is that okay? Okay, so we go with inch. So we'll go with inches, I believe, to centimeters, and then we'll go to for millimeters to inches, and then we have millimeters to inches. All right, and that is for option 1. And then of course we still need to do what to get the appropriate option for this. So I'll have something like this again, still inside my condition. So you can see that your action for a condition can be as long as possible, right? It can be as long as possible. As far as everything is being indented, all of them becomes what the action for this if structure there. So this one would be option. And remember, this option here is different from that other option. But for our that is what we call global and local variable. But we explain that concept when we get in our future classes. So I'll just change this so it doesn't actually confuse us. So this will be length. I'll call this length. Okay, I'll call that length option. And I'll do the same thing for, I'll just copy this again and edit again. I'll do the same thing for when option is 2. If we are lost, please do what to let me know. For readability sake, I'll leave that space. So this space I'm leaving there is not, is for readability sake, right? So here is that it should be elif, not if. Remember, when we repeat if, we are simply telling Mr. Gayos to go to a specific store twice. But we don't want that. We want him to go there with all the options and then come back just one time. So that's why we're using what the elif there. So if elif is 2, right? So if elif option is 2, right? If this option, if the user actually picked 2, that is being what mass, I will now show the conversion available for mass. And then I will call this, and then we go again, we pick 2. You pick 2 for mass. So we'll go with let's go with one that looks wonderful. So let's take kilogram to pound. Kilogram to pound. Kilogram to pounds. Okay, believe. And then we will likely go with that one again. It's a gram to ounces. Okay, let's go for that. So we go for grams. So ounces. All right. So we have that there for mass, and this would be mass option. Mass option. And then same thing again, we copy, we paste. From the ability set, I'll leave that below. Any option is what is 2. Below is a conversion for what was 3. 3 was temperature. So this should be what? Temperature. Temperature. And for temperature, we have just 2 there, of course. Fahrenheit to Celsius, Celsius to Fahrenheit. All right, let's go with that. Fahrenheit to Celsius, Celsius, and Celsius to Fahrenheit. Copy that. Like that. Sure, it's actually Celsius. It's putting it like wrong for me. Let's test. All right, and then this will be what for temperature option. So I've got this temp option, right? And then we are done with what our 8 steps. See if I run this again. Okay, one more thing, just in case a user actually goes above this available option, then we should show appropriate message. So that's where else coming in, right? And it should be you have selected an invalid option. Please restart the program again. All right, so let's run this. We have welcome to and then we can select. So you can go for length, and then we have the available conversion for length, and then you can do enter the option that we want. You can as well go for the second one, which is mass. Have the available conversion for what mass. That's okay, and then we can also go for the third one, temperature, and temperature is the third one. That actually works for temperature. And then we can also do this again, and then we can go for an invalid option, let's say 0. and then you said what, that you selected the wrong option, please start the program again. So that actually works for us. Question? Is there a question? Are we lost? Am I too fast?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
All right. My question is that yeah, this apart from this empty print statement, which is to keep a space, I understand that that is necessary to keep a space. Then
Okay.
are all these numerous print statement necessary? Like, can't they be tied? Or then can't the message be tied inside one print statement and maybe use something to break them into different lines?
Okay, so yeah, it can be tied. Okay, yes, it can. That can actually work. So you can actually use one print statement for all of this. Okay, right. So to actually do that, we have special characters in strings, right? So string have a special character, and it's called a new line character. So when Python sees that line available, okay, it assumes that whatever follows after that character should be put in a new line. So I'll show us an example. Okay, so this before that, this is the new line character. So let me show us new line character. New line character. Like I said, we'll still learn on this call. New line character, this is how it is. It is backward slash and then followed by n. So whenever this kind of character appears in a string, Python knows that whatever follows after that character should go in a new line. So I can actually do this. Okay, so let me come here, right? And let me do that. Let's put backslash n, and I'll just copy this again. Copy that, and I'll put it there. And that tells Python that anything that comes after backslash n should go in a new line. And then I'll do it again, backslash n, and I'll put my mass, and that's put that there. Pull again, backslash n, and then I'll put 3 there, and that's worked. And I can come here and then I can cut this out if I want. Cut that out. And if I execute this now, that should still work as it's expected. So you say that still happens, as that still shows, it displays exactly how it was, right? So we can still do this. So why I didn't actually do this was for readability sake, all right? So I didn't actually want to actually bring this in, so you don't actually confuse us, right? So this can still go. So you can still repeat this for this and for this. But okay, I'll leave this one here and still leave this and still leave the rest of them the way it is. So whichever one works fine for you or seems neat for you and doesn't complicate things for you, then you can actually pick. Either you can go for this or you can display them separately like that. So that's still
okay.
Is that okay?
Oh yeah, sure. And also you talking
Right.
about the fact that you were like using different print statements for readability. I believe that we can still use the same print statement, but write them in different lines in the case of readability.
In different lines, I think I'm lost in that question. Like, you mean I could actually space them?
This that's what I mean. Like, for the sake of readability, why I mean different lines? Okay, in terms of like, okay, this is what I mean. Like, the print statement begins from 17, right? So I can write it begins from 17. So I can write like choose from the section below in line 17, then write the number one like backslash n1 in line 18 and so on and so forth, just for the sake of readability. That's what I mean. But though wrapped inside the same print statement.
Oh, okay. So this, you mean? That put that in a new line.
Yep.
All right. So you see that the moment we do that, that will throw an error.
Okay.
And that will throw an error.
Okay.
So that should go in one line.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question before we proceed? That was a fantastic question. All right. So that was a fantastic. So I could say that question actually made us to bring back what to actually learn of a character, of a special character or new line character that works in strings. Fantastic question. Any other question? Okay. The silence means no other question. All right.
Can you
So-
scroll down a little bit? So
Yes,
see what we have
can you
about those
down to the
Oh.
third option. To the third option. I'm not.
Okay, okay, third
Thank
option. There you go. So that is that. And so let me zoom this in out in a little bit. Sorry, so this looks small. Is that font still okay by everyone?
Yes, it's okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm done.
Okay. Okay. So now we've covered what we've been able to carry out our step 1, step 2, and step 3. Now, and as well as step 4. Okay, so now let's get the step 4, right? Let's get the step 4. So we want to get, so this should also come here as well. This step should also come here as well. So after displaying the section and getting the option, we display the available configuration for each section and also get the option. And then after that, so we've done this. So now let us go on and do what and do this. So that is where nesting comes in again. So nesting is basically repeating a specific structure inside a specific structure. What do I mean? Let me just create a new file and illustrate before we come back and continue. So I'll call this one illustrate.com.py, sorry. So nesting works in not just in conditional, it works for loops, it works for data structures. So it's basically inserting itself inside its own self. Right. So what do I mean? Assuming I have a condition that says let's say a variable that says age is what is 18, right? And name is let's say 7, right? And okay, let's say let's do section. Yeah. So this should be section. This should be section A, right? And let's assume that let's assume that we have a simple let's assume that this software let's assume that this software is going to be used in an occasion that should segment people, right? An occasion that should segment people. Let's just put something else called gender. Let's assume that this software would be used in a specific occasion that should segment participants, right? Now, now let's assume that we want to accept every member that is up to 18 years, right? So let me put that down. We want to accept everyone that is 18 and above, right? But then after accepting all these people, we want to segment them. So we want the male to be one side, and then the female to be the other side. And then still inside this, we also want that if you're a male, and then let's also bring in weights again. Let's bring in weights. Let's just stay for now, assuming. So now inside this, we still want that if you are a male, right, and then you have a weight less than 10, you should go to section A, or if your weight is above 10, then go to section B. Same thing happens with the female, right? Same thing happens with the female. So you could see let's put this up. You could see that this is more like a general condition that accepts everyone that's above 18 years, right? But then inside that condition, there's a condition again that has been attached, because if you want to put everything at once, then we may end up only accepting male to a specific section. Because I could say, okay, if you're above 18 and you're a male and your weight is less than 10, then go to this, right? You can say that at the end of the day, we are only accepting male. But then we need a situation that we've accepted everybody that's above 18 years. Right? So you've stepped into the room. Then we now get another condition again saying, okay, if you're a male, please that way. If you're a female, that way. And that is what another if inside what the if that checks that you are 18. Then inside this same if again, there's another if again that says, okay, if you have a weight of this way, a female section. So now if you want to actually implement this, that will be called nesting, where you have a if condition that checks if your age is what is 18 and if your age is above 18 years, right? 18 and above, right? Then inside here, we also check again if your gender, right? If gender is what is male. If it's male, for now, let's just pass for now. If it's male, let's pass this for now. So pass is more like a keyword that you can use. It's a powerful keyword. So it allows Python to allow you to do what? To leave certain things blank. Because by default, you cannot construct a condition without an action. So if you're not ready to put an action, you can use pass. And Python will allow you to do what? To skip that condition for now. Right. So, but if I take out this pass, say that we can't move from here because this will turn an error saying that this condition here, this particular one needs an action, right? So that's where pass comes in. So I'll put pass for now. And then I can also check elif, copy this again. Elif gender, if gender is what is female. So you say that we have a condition inside what a condition. That is basically what nesting is. Then still inside this same condition, I can now come and check, okay, if you're male and if your weight, right? If weight is greater than or equals to 10, you have a specific rule. So for now, I'll pass. And then I'll repeat this again. If weight is less than, but not equals to. If, so this should be if weight is less than 10. For now, I'll pass. And then same thing will also happen for the female section. So basically, because that's basically what nesting is. We have a if that's inside what you have a conditional statement rather that's inside what another conditional statement that's inside what that's still inside an overall conditional statement. That is nesting. You understand? So this condition becomes what the action for this condition, and this condition here, this becomes its own what action. And of course, if there's one here, then this will be the action for what this specific condition. Is that okay? Do we understand? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I do.
All right. So that's basically nesting, and this actually works with loops as well. This also works with other structures. But as
Sorry,
we proceed,
sorry,
question.
sir.
Okay.
Yes. Why do you still leave the pass there? I thought you finished typing what you want to type.
Yeah. The pass is still there because this man here is the action for what this condition, and this man here is the action for this condition. And this is what a new condition now that requires an action. So if I take this off, this will throw an error because this man here does not have what its own action. So that's why the pass is still there. So after this now, I can now say, okay, please, if you are above 18 and you are a male and your weight is above 10, go to, can now come and say, go to room A. So that means in order for you to go to room A, you must have passed all these criteria. You must have been above 18 years and you must be a male and your weight must be above 10. Then you can have access to room A. Right? Else, it means that you are a male. So this else here, or this elif here, this elif here, let's put an action for elif because this elif there, in order for you to be in room B, right? It means that you must be above 18. You must be what? You must be a male, and then your weight must be less than 10 to go to what? The room B. So that's why those parts are still there. These conditions, we now actually provide the actions for them. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay.
All right. Any other question?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, so I understand the fact that we can the code can run without else, like if you have if and elif.
Okay.
So sorry, if you have if, only we can run. But what if we have elif with the if? Can it run without the else statement?
Yeah, the elif, okay, sorry, the if, right, can exist on its own, but the elif and the else cannot exist on its own. They need the if, right? So
So it
they,
means this code is not going to work then.
no, this code will work. Okay, this code will work, right? So if we only use the else if we have a specific action in mind to execute when a specific action is not met, right? So
So
for now, okay, question
the
shoot.
question I wanted to ask is in the if gender equals to male, you
Okay,
nested an if statement and an else if.
okay,
Why not just change the if to else? You
exactly,
understand?
exactly. That will still
Why
work.
not just and as is it possible that if there's already an if and there's an if, I think there should also be else after the if.
Me
Exactly
here,
my point.
me here.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, like else.
all right, okay, all right, all right, all right. So okay, so okay, so the thing is that it is not actually compulsory that we use all this.
Okay. It's not really compulsory.
You only use them when you have a specific action in mind to execute. When a specific condition is not met. So let's assume that in this case, I am only interested in those that are above 18 years. If they are less than 18 years, I don't have any specific action. That's why this if did not carry an else or an elif, right? But if I had a specific action, let's say if they are above 18 years, maybe I wanted to tell you, okay, if they are above 18 years, go to so and so. At that point, I need else, right? I don't know if you are following, right? So it's not actually compulsory that we use all of them, the total of them. We only use them when need be, right? When need be. So and at the moment, I don't have what to tell those that have less than 18 years, right? I don't. In fact, if I put it just for now, nothing for them, right? Nothing for them. But if I have something else, let's say I want them to go to a specific group, then I can come back again and do okay. I'll consider the else. Now I can answer okay else. So it means that if you're not above 18 years, it definitely means that you're less than 18 years. Then I can give you a specific action. Probably go to room so and so. All right. So that's how it works.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. All right. So here, so this is having an error because of this error was affecting an action. So I'll put my pass there. So I'll still send this file for us. So you can still look at the next thing again. So back to our exercise 2. So that's where what we have to come here again and start doing what another if inside this first if. So in this case, I'll now come here and I'll say if, right? If length option is what it equals to 1, then I can do what carry out the appropriate conversion. So option 1 says what inches to centimeters, right? Option 1 says inches to centimeters. Okay, option 1 says inches to centimeters. All right. So let's see the formula for inches. So please, it is not a crime if this formula is not actually there. There's not magic. Okay, if you can't actually cram all of them, no, it's fine. But then as a programmer, your browser should be your best friend. Your VS Code one corner, your browser the other corner. If you have a cool music at the background, perfect. Trust me, you can sit there for 8 hours and write code. Right? Please, your browser always there, right? So it's not if in this case you need a formula, all right, to maybe you need a specific kind of should I say method to stop your tasks, and then but you don't actually get that method properly. Please, you can always there's no shame in doing it. Please go to your browser and do what and search for it. In this case, I trust me, I have absolutely no idea of how the conversion works. Okay, I don't know what unit makes what unit. All right, and I can confidently, with my pride, and go to the browser and do what and search, and now know that to make 1 inch, you need what 2.540 centimeters. I am feeling fine for it. Like in fact, I am okay with that. Okay, so to do that, so it means that in this case we are converting inches to what to centimeters. So that means whatever values we are getting the values what in inch, right? So our step 4 now says get the value to be what to be converted. So remember, it's inches to centimeters. So that means you're getting inches and displaying what centimeters, right? So I will do what again? Okay. Right. So remember, when your code starts getting much, of course, you start trying to figure out where you are and we have to actually move to. Okay, so at this point, we need to get value in inches. So we need the input function again. So I'll bring this man, paste it here, and then I will say inches value. Right, and then I'll say enter your value in inches, or enter your inches value if you want. However you want to put that in English. So this will get the inches value, and then we do what we can add the conversion. So they said that 1 inch is what is equals to let's just copy this so we don't have to come back again. 1 inch is equals to that. Where are the master All right, so that to actually convert an inch to centimeter, same that I'll get the value in inch, right, and I'll multiply it by what? By 2.540, right? Math students, any math students in the call? If I want to convert inch to centimeters, right, it simply means I'll get the value in inch and multiply by what? By 2.540, right?
Yes, that's correct.
That's correct. Perfect. All right, so let's do that. So I'll call this result because if I just try add, let's say, inches value times. All right, so for those of us that I think in our first class we're supposed to cover operators. So we have some basic operators. Let's go back again to the illustrate. We still come back again. I know that this class was supposed to be live coding, but we still learn. So we have operators, and then in our conditionals, we looked at logical operators, right? Logical operators, and those were the and, the not, and the or, right? In our conditional class, we also have conditional operator, right? Conditional operator, and those were our what? Our less than, our greater than, our double equal sign, and so on and so forth. We also have arithmetic operator, just like every other every other language, right? And those are our normal things that we use every day. We have the plus, we have the minus. Then multiplication times in Python is your asterisk, please. That is times. And then exponentiation is simply raised to the power of, right? Is what is double asterisk. We also have division, then is backslash. We also have another thing that looks like double backslash. This is called integer division, right? And how it works is that your division here. Okay, let me just comment this out and let's look at that quickly. So the difference between the first slash and the double slash is that your first slash will give you a full decimal point of your division. Let's say if I should say 5 divided by 3, right? And then if I execute this, you'll get the full 1.6666 and the rest of them, right? That is your normal division sign. While integer simply means remove that decimal point and throw it away, and just give me what? The whole number. See that if I run this again, so that we have what? We have only one. The decimal point is being removed. That's how that operator works. And then we have another one called that looks like percentage, but it's called modulus. Let me put the name there. Modulo, right? And the other one here is called integer division. Right. So the way modulo work is that it returns the remainder. It returns the remainder. It means that if I should say, so it carries out a division and returns the remainder. That's how modulo works. So it means it will do what? It will say 5 divided by 3, and that is 1. We remainder how many? And that remainder is what will do what will be displayed, which in this case should be 2, because 3 goes into 5 one time, then 2 is still left, right? And then if you execute this, you now have what? You now have 2. That's how that operator works. Is that understood? So those are the basic arithmetic operators. Is there anyone that is confused about these two operators that looks strange? Okay, so that's perfect. So question? Question? All right, no question. All right, so let's delve again to our code. Then we start using all these arithmetic operators. So it's exercise 2. And in this one, we will say that to get the values, to convert inch to centimeters, we multiply by what? By 2.540. So I will say inch value being what the value that we get from there. And I'll multiply this asterisk. Remember, multiplication is asterisk by what? By 2.540. Right? So to get the result of that calculation, I have to save it in a variable, so I can do what? I can display that result. So I will call this result, and result should be equal to that calculation. At this point, I can confidently, I will need to show an empty print first before. And the reason why I'm showing an empty print first is because this will actually show enter your value. So I want to at least give a space above them before actually showing the result. So I can now come here and then I can now confidently say that the value of whatever value you type in inch, right? In this case, the value of inches value. Don't worry, I'll explain this concept. The value of 3 inches in centimeters is we put it on value is the result. All right, so let me explain what is happening here. I think I've not done this one before, so this one looks new. So the thing is that your print function can take as many arguments as possible. It means that it can take as many values as possible, as far as those values are being separated by commas. Let's go back into to illustrate the pie. So we still learn, even if it's a live coding class, we still learn. All right, so assuming I have a print statement, right? Now I can actually choose to print as many things as possible, right? So let's assume I have, or let's go back again. We have, let's assume that I want to display this value, age, section, gender, and weight. But then I don't want to use one like different print, right? I can display all of them using one print, but then I can separate them by what? By comma. So I can print age, right? Separate it, print something else, print gender, I think, print weight, print what else is there? Section, print section. So I can still print section here as well. This is actually done what? Using one print, and it will show them on one line, right? And it show them on one line. Now, what happens that it will put a space between each of these values automatically. So that is done automatically. So if I run this, we have all our values there separated by space. Those spaces being done automatically. So you can still even print other things. You can even print string alongside with all these things like this. You can say hello. You can print another one, say 3. You can print as many things as you want, right? So you can say KodeCamp. As far as those things are being separated by comma, that will still work. So if I run this again, excuse, so we have everything being showed out in one line. Do you understand? Do you understand the concept? So that's basically all right. So that's basically how print works. All right. So you can display as many things as you want, as far as those things are being separated by what? By comma. By comma. Today, Obichuku just want to kill us with loud and clear. All right, that's fine. So like each time I go to the comment section and see loud and clear, I just know. All right, so let's go back again to our exercise 2. So back to this again. What are we having here? We can actually read this as a sentence. So here I'm saying that what I want to show was the value of the inches value here is what the value that someone typed. So let's assume that someone typed 5 here. So I'm not saying what the value of 5 inches in centimeter is whatever this will give us. Right? That looks That sounds like a correct sentence, right? So that's what I'm actually doing there. So if I run this and then I go for length, since we've done for length, go for length, I go for inches to centimeters, and then I say 5 inch. So you can have that the value of what of 5 inches in centimeters is what is 12.7 centimeters. Okay, so I should put cm there. I think that would make sense. 12.7 cm. All right. So that is that for option 1. So we can do this again for option 2. But at this point, I'll do option 2, and then I'll leave it the rest for us to complete for the rest of that, or for the rest of other sections. So this is for option 2, length option 2, and then I'm getting this one is millimeters to inches. So this would be millimeters value. Millimeter value. So enter your millimeters value. So this will be milli. So you can say that we just copy and paste, and then we know what we edit it to fit our what we want. So enter your millimeters of value. All right, and then let's go back again and see the conversion. Please, I'll go back with pride. I'll copy this. That 1 millimeter is 0.03937 inches. Copying with pride, please. You can copy just to be pride. So to convert millimeters to inches, we need to multiply it by what? By 0.393 inches, right? Math student. Is that it? That should work, right? So similar to what we did there, that should actually work. So I'll get the millimeter value, put it here, and multiply by what? By 0.003937. And then I'll now show you that the value of this millimeters in inches is the result inches. So if I run this again, that should now work. Execute. So length, we go. Millimeters to inches, we go. I need like about 10 millimeters. And then we have that the value for 10 meters is 0.000, and that's inches. That works.
So please, can you scroll down to option 3? Hello, sir.
Right, so I think network has kicked me out. Is Chinazam Obiora active on this call? I believe you can hear me.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Chinazam, you're active, right? Okay, Chinazam, if you could check your direct message. I've just messaged you on this call.
Okay, let me check. I'm trying to get the message. So what did you it says I'm now the host. So you said I'm now the host.
Yes. So it happens that you are.
So what should I do?
Okay. So network kicks me out, and when I'm back, so it happens in Zoom. The moment you're out of the Zoom call, you come back, it automatically gives the host to someone
Okay.
randomly. So what you
I
want to do
see.
is
I should continue the lecture.
All right, so you need to figure out a way of making me the host so I can share my script. So figure that out. Have you seen that?
No, not yet. What I'm thinking, should I end the call and start again?
No, it's not in the call. No, not in the call. No, not in the call. Again, please. If you end the call, that call is gone.
Okay.
Right. So, okay, let's see. So go to, I will click on participant or hover on my name, bro.
Your name, okay.
All right. This is an option.
Yes. I've clicked on your name.
That works.
Ask to start video. I clicked ask to start video. Okay,
No,
make host.
Make host, yes.
Yes, make host. I've done that.
All right, so thank you very much. And it was nice doing business with you, Mr. Chirag. So how does it feel to be the host? All right,
right.
Let's continue. Sorry about that, guys. Network is so quickly. I just went to Chrome and had to figure that out. All right, so let's continue with that. All right, so that was that for that project, and I would love to actually complete it, but you see, we are out of time, so I'll leave this for us.
Sir, please, can you go to option 3? I want to check something.
Option 2.
No, 3. Option 3.
3. There's a bug. There should be elif, please, not if. Right. So option 3. Let's go to option 3. Option 3. There it is.
Okay. I've seen what I want to. Thank you.
All right. So I'll leave this code as it is for us. Right. I'll share this file. Matter of fact, I will share all the files I have in this folder, and then we will complete this code, and I'll get it, the complete version of it, right? The complete version of it. And if you're looking for how to get this this unit conversion thing, please open it with bread, please. Then let no one come and tell you that you must know it. So I'll share this on the board, and you can get the conversion there, and work with it. Okay. So I'll paste that there. Oh, so I set it to Ocean again. Sorry, that should go to the entire group. All right, so you can check the chat session, and that is there. So you get that conversion, and then you complete the program. So let's see exercise 3. Let's just see one more thing. One more thing. I have about 20 minutes left. Okay. All right, so the third one says that we should make a guessing game. So this guessing game we will likely come back to it when we've worked on function. Because we need to come back and make it to be very, very wonderful. Right. So but for now, we will just use a fake number that we all know though. So it says that this program should randomly select a number. So at the moment, we can't carry out this random selection of number, right? There is a function that can do this, right? I would love to bring that function in, but I'll leave that function till when we are done with functions in Python. Then when we're done with functions and models in Python, then we'll come back to the same code again, and we'll make it randomly select a number. But for now, we'll just have a fixed number, and then the user will guess the number, and the program should give a hint if it's too high or it's too low. So the good thing is that this particular program so far actually make use of loop. So far we've not used loops in our session. So this one here looks like something that should use loop. If you ask me from my own point of view, remember programming is personal. It's more like salvation. It's personal. So you can choose to make yours run once, but for my own end, I would love mine to run continuously till when you do what, till when you get the correct answer, right? Till when you get the correct answer. So this looks like a while loop to me because we don't know how many times the user will make this guess, right? So that's while loop. So let's go and then let's see what we can do with about 18 minutes that we have today. Okay, so let's go and then I'll create, as usual, a new file, and this will be ex3.py. All right, so copy the description and bring it down here. So copy this. First, this one looks long, so we will likely need to break it into separate lines. So the program should so I'll bring this one to the next line, and I'll comment on all of them. So if you want to comment on on multiple lines, right? So you do what, you highlight all the line, like I just did, and then you do control / and that will comment on everything. Instead of doing what? Instead of going here line by line, right? And put the pound sign, going down to put the pound sign here as well. So you can do that all at once, right? So as I'll do that again, you do control, you highlight first, right? You highlight everything first, and then you do control / that will comment on them. Someone make this on. All right, so let's see what this program said. It said that first
Please,
of all,
please excuse me. What is the /
a / is the key beside your right. How do I put it? All right, so let's go back. / is this slash. That's
Okay,
that's
just control this
yes.
this mark. Okay,
Exactly.
thank
Exactly.
you.
So the other one is /. This one that comes like this. So this / that's /. Right. So let's see how this will work. So I'll copy algorithm somewhere, and it's part of our life as programmers, and over time it become part of your life. You do copy and paste and read it. Not that to type it out will take time, but the fact that we just assume that typing out will take time. So at times there are code that you copy and paste, and it take you more time to edit that code to work. So and then which you have actually write it out, and maybe it will save you time. But there's always this thing that comes to our head that says that copying and pasting and editing save time. At times it does save time, most times it doesn't. Okay, so how this will work would be this. So first of all, I would love our program to do what? To randomly select a number. Randomly select a number. Okay, and then ask user to guess the number, right? And then what else again? After asking the user to guess the number, if correct, say correct. Not if not correct, show hint. Okay, and then repeat the whole process when not correct. Oh, so I'll just copy this, and this should be like another step for now. So this will come here and say if not correct, show hint, and keep repeating till user guess the number. Right, so that will work. That will save as our algorithm. So we have the random select number, and then ask the user for the guess number to guess the number, and then show if correct. Yes, if it's correct. But if not, show the hint and then keep repeating. So you see, the loop comes in there. Keep repeating till user gets what the number. So let's see how we can quickly implement this. Let's see how we can quickly implement that. So for now, we cannot randomly select a number. Not that I can actually randomly select a number, but I wouldn't want to do that because that would involve us to have an idea of how to deal with models, functions and models in Python. But since we haven't covered that, for now, I will assume you and I, right, we assume that this number is randomized. So I have a variable here called random number. And for now, I'll choose 5. So we assume that 5 there was randomly picked. But don't worry, once we're done with function and models, we'll come back to this code and then we'll fix that place. Right? Please remind me, when we're done with function and models, let us come back here and fix that place. All right. So for now, that will be our random number. And then I'll ask you user to guess the number. So I'll go and copy function input again. So I'll paste this here, and in this case, I will call this one user guess, and I will say guess the number. Guess the number, and then I would do what I would say if user guess is the same thing as the randomly select number. I wanted to say you guessed it right. Okay, now if I run this and yeah, put in 5 here, so you guess it right. So that's perfect. So we are building it slowly. So we've covered this now. So now we want a situation where it's not correct. So in this case, you see, I don't even need the elif, I need just else. So it means that if this is not correct, then that means you're wrong. You're not worried about it. If it's not this number, then it means you're wrong. So in that case, I don't really need the elif because I don't have another condition to check. So I'm checking for only one, and if it's not this one, it means that you're definitely what's wrong. So in that case, what happens is for us to do what? To show hints. Remember, if it's not correct, we do what? We show hint, and then we keep asking the what? The user to what? To keep the what? To keep inputting the number. So let's see how that will go. All right. So now with hint is this. So we say I'll show a very simple hint. So it's put in nesting again, nesting. So if user guess, right? If the user guess is above the number, right? It's higher than the random number. I want to do what? I want to show you your guess is too high. That's your hint, right? That means reduce the guess, bring it down a little bit. Your guess is too high. And then, of course, if it's not high, then it's definitely what is definitely low. So no need for elif again. So I was going to say your guess is what is too low. Your guess is what is too low. Okay. Your guess is too low. Right? And let's run this and let's see. So run. So at times when you write a code, you want to keep testing to be sure that that everything is going as planned. So I put something like 10. Do we use 10 as guess number? We use 5. So I'll put 10. It says your guess is too high, right? So that means I should reduce it. But then you see that this program runs only once, and I don't want it to run only once. I want it to keep running till whenever the user have done what have guessed it. So now we can use for loop, we can use while loop, but in this program, the best thing to use is what is while loop. That's because for loop you determine a fixed number of times you can guess it. You can only use for loop if you intend for user to guess maybe like a specific number, right? But in this case, right, in this particular program, the user must guess to whenever he has it correct. But you may choose to do yours to have a minimum of 3 guesses, right? So it's all up to you. Remember, programming is salvation. It's personal. However you choose to run yours, but then when it comes to someone's project, let's say I call you and then I give you a specific instruction, please. At that point, programming is no longer personal. It's someone implement what you've been told, right? Implement what you've been told. All right, so let's go ahead. So I think I'll edit this. A program that randomly select number and then user should guess the number, and the program and provide hints if it's too low, and then this should be on repeat, right? Please let this be on repeat. Right, so to put this on repeat, right? To put this on repeat, I can just come up here and I can wrap everything here in a while loop. While loop will keep looping till whenever. So that means I want this whole process of being what, of getting number and checking, getting number, checking, getting number, checking. I want that process to keep happening for as long as possible. So I'll come here and I'll say I'll construct a while. Remember, while works with condition. While work with condition. But then we need to construct a while that should execute only when this guess is what is wrong. Only when this guess is wrong. So in this case, I will bring this down here. Bring this down here. So you when we ask for a number the first time, we want to check that when you ask for a number for the first time, we want to make sure that the user guess, well, that the user guess is not equals to what? Random. What do I mean? It simply means that when we ask for it, and when we ask for the guess, and then it's not the same as this, then that should do what? That should continue this loop. Then that should continue this loop. But we will have to at least, this actually looks tricky here. We have to actually do this we have to actually construct something, another input again that should make this work, because there's a problem with this code. Without even running this code, I can see the problem. Now, if I indent this and make this the action, right? You see that this will not even execute. The moment I actually execute this code and the user gets 5 instantly, this whole code won't even execute again. You know what I mean? If we run this and then we have 5, that ends the code. So it never actually got to the point where it showed us you guessed it right. So you see, that's the problem. So what do we want to do? We want to carry this man here and put inside here instead. And then we want this user guess to be initially to be 0 before the loop even starts. That way we can say that what our user guess is not even this. So you can see. And then if I run this now, that at least shows guess a number. If I now guess like 4, it says too low, and then it takes us back to what, to guess a number. And then if I now guess 10, it says too high, and then it will keep doing that for as long as possible. But then we need, remember, while constructing a while loop, we need to find a way to do what, to terminate that while loop, right? So in a situation where we actually guess it correct, I want our guess to automatically update. So I think that should actually work without even updating, because at this point, user guess, we actually update here. So let's run this. So let's guess 5 and see if that should work. So I'll guess 1 for now, guess 10, and then I'll guess 5, and that actually works. So with that, we've solved our problem. Do you understand the code?
So please repeat it a little bit, because I don't really understand.
Yes, sir. Because when you started using the while loops, it became confusing one kind. So
okay. So let me do that again. Right. So remember that that the way while loop works is that this for any code within your while loop to work, okay? For any code within your while loop to work, this condition must first be true, right? The condition itself must first be true, right? So that means if the condition is not true, the code won't even execute. So initially we had our guess, right, outside here, right? Our guess outside here. And then if we had to read this as interpreter, we can say that when we execute this code, Python will now know that there is a number called 5 and it's saved somewhere in a variable called random number, right? And it's saved somewhere in a variable called random number, right? And then what happens? It will now get to a point where it says guess a number, and then it will get that number and put it here, right? So now there is a probability that now that the rest of the code will work and will not also work. Now, for this code to work, a user must first of all guess a wrong number. So that means the user must guess something other than 5. Let's say something like 0 before this while loop will execute. Because for this while loop to work, user guess must not be the same as random number, right? For this while loop to work, user guess must not be the same thing. That's what we're having here. Is not what equal, right? So for this condition to be true, it means that a user must guess a wrong number first for this loop to even start, right? And then unfortunately, if a user should now guess 5, you will say that 5 is now what is not the same as random number, which turn this false, right? So this means this code will end here automatically. Okay, will end here automatically. So
can we run it to see? Can we run it to see if we just get 5, whether it will be cool?
All right, so let's see. Let's run this. And then if I guess 5, you see that ends the code. The code has ended. That's
so
because
with that, it did not even print any notice for us.
See, that's the problem. It never even prints anything. That's because the condition responsible for printing it is within what is within our while loop, and the while loop never even started in the first place. All right. So
we have to guess a wrong number first, even
exactly
before the code will ever
wrong
work.
number first. Exactly. So that if I get 0, now the while loop has started, but then we were not having infinite loop. That's because for each time for each time we guess a wrong number, let's say 0, right? What happens is that it now checks is 0 the same is 0 not the same thing as 5, which is true, right? 0 is not the same thing as 5, so it's true. So what happens? It now started the loop, and then it now check, right? Is user guess is 0 the same thing as 5, which is not. So that will skip. So you now come and check is 0 greater than 5, which is not. So that's a skip. So you now check now. So that means if it's not greater than 5, it means that it's less than 5. So it keeps doing this. So it shows what your guess is low, and then it goes back again to check, right? It goes back again to check is user guess still the same thing as random number, which of course here is still what is still there because we don't have the room to go back to input another number for user guess. So it still works with that 0. So it keeps working with that 0 from now to the end of time, right? So to solve that problem, we now say, okay, fine, let us bring this man inside the loop so that for each time in loop, let us be able to know what to type. But then if we run this now, this will never show anything. And this will never show anything because where are we getting this user guess from to carry out this comparison? This user guess is supposed to come from here, but then we are basically doing what we are basically trying to reference a variable that did not exist before time. What do I mean? We are referencing a user guess, and the way Python works, remember, it is good code line by line. So that means before Python should get to line 15, there should be a variable called user guess somewhere before line 15. But in this case, the user guess is after line 15, which at line 15, Python is not aware of user guess. So that was an error. So we need to find a way to make this condition to be true first to even start running the loop, right? So in this case, we now forcefully say let user guess be what a wrong number. In this case, I say let user guess what be 0. Initially, we have like initially now when I'm saying that the user have guessed, right, and is what and is wrong, and is what is called 0. So in that case, this correction here will what will execute. But then since we have the user guess here also, it means that over time, like as the user is typing in a number here, this user guess here will get updated, right? That's why it will now run again. So the loop starts automatically. That's because we forced or we've given what a wrong guess by default. So it starts automatically, and then whatsoever value we put here, we will update the user guess. So if I put 0 now again, what happens? It shows me your guess is low, which so to know what is happening behind the scene. So it takes this to a 0 that you've done what as you've typed here, right? It takes this or 0 that you've typed here and do what and carry out a comparison and says is 0 the same thing as random number, which is what 5, which is not the same, right? So that is so that's skipped, and then it comes again and check is it greater than the real number. If yes, then show too high. If no, then show too low. So that's why I think was this too low. So then it goes back again to check with the recent number we just which in this case what is 0. So you check again is 0 the same thing as random number. If this correction still holds true, then the loop still does what continues again. So but this time it gives us room again to do what to update the value of what of user guess. So if I now come and say okay, let's do this with 5, what happens? In now check is 5 the same thing as 5, and now shows what you've guessed it, and then it now goes again to check if this question is what is still valid, which in this case it will go again with what with 5, and here I say is 5 not the same thing as 5, which is what false, because 5 is the same thing as 5. So that stops that loop automatically. You understand?
Yes, it's sinking in a little.
I don't want it to sink in. So the thing is that loops, especially while loop, always tends to be trickish. But we practice this will actually sink in. This will make a lot of sense. That about while loop. That's for class 3. Yes. So this was the while loop we had in our previous class. So remember that while loop works off on a condition. So you can say that while loop repeat things based on what on a condition, and the condition must be what must be true. So it means that for while loop to even execute, this man here must be true. Sorry, for this code here within the while loop to execute, this condition here must be true first. So now we now say that within our while loop, we should find a way to terminate this condition. If not, this loop here will continue forever. So what happens is that when we run this code, it now comes and check is name the same thing as Messi, which of course is the same thing as Messi. So it shows while loop, and then it goes back again to check. By default, it will go back. That's how loops work. Before it moves to the next line, it will always go back to check if this is still valid. So it goes back to check is name still Messi, which in this case we change name to what to going back is going back with name being what Obada. So when it checks again, is Obada the same thing as Messi, which is not. So this loop ends automatically. Same thing happens with what we've just done. So it checks again, is 0 the same thing as is 0 not the same thing as 5, which is what is true. So this man here will start automatically. But then when it comes here, when it starts, it gives us room to do what to update. So these points here that we have here is a point that should do what that should terminate our loop, similar to this point here that we have name being what Obada. The difference is that at this point we the programmers we forcefully gave a value for the variable name. But in this case here, we are making the value of user guess to be dynamic, where user can do what can type. But eventually, user will type a correct number, and this will terminate this condition. and this man here will end automatically. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Question.
Yeah,
Right,
hello,
so,
sir.
all right.
Please, quickly, just quickly. How do you indent a block of code? You know, initially you didn't indent, and suddenly is there a shortcut of indenting a block of code?
Okay, so to make a block of code to be available for a specific structure, you can use your tab. You use tab key. So if I come here and I tab this out, I can use my tab key to shift it back in. So, but by default, this should indent automatically. If your syntax are correct, if you have this correct syntax here, you will say that if I put my cursor there, upon clicking the enter, it indents automatically. So this will be wrong, or this will not actually indent if there's something wrong with my syntax. Because if I enter again, you see that this should not actually be indent. So if I do this, this should not actually indent, right? But by default, it should actually indent by default behavior of Python. So if yours is not indenting and your syntax is correct, then you can use the tab key to tap it in there. Or you can use 4 spaces. Tab key is 4 spaces. Tab is 4 spaces. So you can use 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're good. But use tab. Is that okay?
I just wanted to know if there was if you highlight a block of code, if you highlight it, is there a shortcut to indent? But if there's no, that's fine.
Okay, so for the highlighting, I was trying to say I was trying to show us how we can comment multiple lines of code. Say I want to comment everything here. So instead of coming here to put pound sign per line, I could simply highlight everything and do control /, and it will comment on everything. So that was what I was trying to say about the highlighting thing. Is that okay?
I was talking about indenting. If there's a shortcut to, if you highlight, if there's a shortcut to indent all the things you have highlighted.
Yes. Just actually highlight them and click your tab,
and then
it's highlight. Yeah, it's
okay.
indent.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can highlight everything and then click on tab and it's indent.
Thank you.
Right. Any other question?
Okay, yeah, Mr. Silvio.
No other. Okay, yes.
Sorry, away from the class. My question is regarding the LMS stuff. I've not heard or seen anything about it. So I just wanted to be sure that nothing has been going on and I have no idea about.
No, okay. So you guys will promise onboarding. The onboarding will come. Right. So when the onboarding come, then for now you've not missed anything. As far as there's no announcement pertaining to LMS onboarding, then you haven't missed anything on LMS.
All right.
So when that announcement comes, you will get. All right. Any other question? No other question.
Right, sir, I asked whether a comma is a concatenation symbol.
A comma is comma is not concatenation symbol in Python. Right. So comma is not. So what we did that then was basically printing multiple things in using one print statement, but not, it doesn't actually concatenate. So concatenation actually means joining of 2 strings together. So you say that what we did there did not actually join, it actually separated them with spaces. So it did not actually join. So comma is not concatenation symbol in Python.
Okay.
Right. Any other question?
Yes. Mine is concerning the VS Code. Will you have time to look at it after this class?
All right, no problem. Just drop a screenshot on Discord and let's discuss there. All right, I'll look at it.
Okay, on the call.
So drop Discord. Drop a screenshot of. Oh, okay. Let's communicate on Discord rather, on Discord group. Okay, because
okay.
Yes, let's communicate on Discord group. All right. Any other question? No other question. All right, guys. So the silence means there's no other question. Unfortunately, we were unable to finish everything, but I believe that with these few practicals, that I've been able to illustrate and not confuse us that Python is an interesting programming language. All right. So I think we still have like about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exercises left. Okay, and well, it will happen that this may come in, and you may have to at least solve this exercise by yourself, though. But let's just see how it goes. But for now, all right. So for now, we are good to go. Right. Okay. So I'll see you guys next week, and please practice, and you'll be good to go. I can still leave this slide with us, this particular slide of exercises with us, and we can try out the rest on our spare time and communicate whatever problem or challenges you have on the group, and I'll do well to answer them as soon as I can. All right. So I'll share this specific slide with us, and we should. So this specific one. So is there on the group for those of us that so you can have this one, this specific one. Please you have this one. The rest of the classes I'll share it as well. And so that is the slide, that is linked to this specific type questions. You can use it and you can practice on as time goes on. All right. So in the absence of question, in the absence of question, I would wish us a wonderful weekend ahead and a fantastic good night rest. All right, so for now, bye.
My phone charger. Okay. Okay, for the fun. We don't wait. Touch anything.